More drama in Ondo State as the deputy speaker and another lawmaker in the House of Assembly are suspended while the majority leader in the House resigns. The politics heats up in the state ahead of the governorship primary. And the row between the Ministry of State for Labor, Festus Keyamo, and the National Assembly continues as we dissect the oversight functions of the legislature and the powers of the executive tonight, right here on the program. Hello everyone and welcome to the program. This is Politics Today live on Channels Television. I'm Sean Kimbaloye in Lagos. Some of the breaking news that we have for you about the resumptions of school. The federal government says Unity schools will not participate in the forthcoming schools living certificate exams organized by WAEC, and that all federal government schools will not resume until they are considered safe. The Minister of Education, Adamu, disclosed these at the end of the Federal Executive Council meeting today in Abuja. He also asked WAEC and state government to reconsider their decision to open schools for exams. The minister explains that he would rather have students miss a school year than lose their lives to COVID-19. Take a listen to the post-FEC meeting briefing by the Minister of Education.
Schools under the supervision of the Federal Ministry of Education will not reopen on August 4th or anytime soon. Our schools will only open when we believe it is safe for our children, and that is when the situation is right, not when incidence of the infection is going up in the nation. Yesterday, we called a meeting of stakeholders who will tell us their situation and what needs to be done in order for it to be safe. While the meeting was going on, WAEC announced that they are starting on the... So let's see who they are going to start with. And I would also like to, at this position, ask those states that have already announced, I appeal to them. I think it is not safe.
Well, that's the breaking news that we're following for you right now. Some of the information coming about schools resumption in Nigeria. So that's the information that we have for you. But tonight, on our plate on Politics Today, this 1 hour stretch of the midweek edition of the program, we go to Ondo State to look at the politics and the re-election ambition of Governor Akeredolu and other forces who are up against him in the APC and outside of the APC, especially the drama that has been happening in the House of Assembly in the state since yesterday and, of course, today. And also, we'll go to the National Assembly and look at what is happening between Mr. Festus Keyamo and the National Assembly members. But first, these are some of the stories that we're also following for you on our political roundup. Please watch.
The 6th Federal Executive Council meeting held today at the Council Chambers of the State House, Abuja, presided over by President Muhammadu Buhari. In attendance at the meeting physically are the Vice President, Professor Yemi Oshibajo, Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, Chief of Staff to the President, Ibrahim Gambari, and 11 ministers. At the end of the meeting, ministers briefed journalists on contracts approved by the council, while the Minister of Education reacted to the statement from WAEC and reopening of schools, saying WAEC cannot dictate when schools are to resume as the lives of students are more important. Governor Yahaya Bello of Kogi State is appealing to judicial officers in the state to use their wealth of experience in performing their duties and ensure justice for all. He was speaking after the swearing-in of the state's acting chief judge and the acting president of the customary court of appeal. Governor Yahaya Bello says the state is fortunate to have worthy judicial officers. The House of Representatives has commenced a probe of the power sector. The probe is being carried out by the ad hoc committee led by the majority leader of the House, Ado Dogua, who says the sector is confronted with the issue of liquidity, with the gas suppliers claiming billions of naira being owed them. According to him, another major challenge is the fact that the tariffs are not cost reflective. The committee's mandate covers the entire privatization process, which Nigerians and indeed the lawmakers say has shown no improvement in the power sector, despite billions of naira that have been sunk into it. And the House of Representatives has mandated its Committee on Public Accounts to investigate alleged illegal withdrawals from the dividends accounts of the Nigerian liquefied natural gas. The matter was raised as a matter of urgent national importance by the minority leader of the House, who alleged that the withdrawals were made by the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC.
Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us. Let's give you some premise before we get the ride into Ondo State politics, which has become so heated in the past few days. And so the All Progressives Congress, APC, has begun the screening of governorship aspirants, those who are seeking the tickets of the party. Governor Rotimi Akeredolu and 4 others today have been screened by the party. Others are going to be screened. The screening exercise continues tomorrow. As Governor Akeredolu is in Abuja, the Ondo State House of Assembly is engulfed in yet another controversy and crisis. Today, the House suspended 2 members of the House, the Deputy Speaker, Mr. Iroju Ogundeji, and Mr. Adewale Williams. Both men have been reacting to their suspension. Take a listen to them.
The party is supreme, and the position I am holding in the House of Assembly is that of the eyes, nose, mouth, and the body of the party. In a nutshell, the representative of the party in the House of Assembly. And in order to avert the embarrassment it will cause to the party by my refusing to be part of the impeachment of the deputy governor, I want to give the honor to the party, and by so doing, I have to tender my resignation.
So that is the majority leader of the party, Jami Omeito, who resigned his appointment. The deputy speaker and the other lawmaker who were said to have been suspended are also reacting. Take a listen to them now.
It is a matter of free will. It is not by compulsion. It is not by victimization, neither by intimidation for any member to be part of the impeachment process. I, Right Honorable Iroju Ogundeji, Deputy Speaker of Ondo State House of Assembly, I did not see any merit, and I say it, no merit in the impeachment. That is why I decided and I declined not to append my signature to that impeachment. And I stand by that, my conscience and my opinion. Because of that, the governor directed, according to Right Honorable Bamidele David Olayelogun, the Speaker, he told me before the plenary this morning that the governor and the chairman of the party, Ade Adetumeni, has directed him to suspend those of us that did not support the impeachment.
Mr. Speaker informed me this morning that I've been suspended along with the Deputy Speaker. Thereby, we will not be allowed to enter into the gallery for a plenary meeting because the governor, Governor Rotimi Akeredolu, the party chairman, state chairman, Engineer Ade Adetumeni, and some leaders, that they were not happy with the position that I took.
So you heard them. The 3 lawmakers there were part of the 9 members of the House that are opposed to the impeachment notice served on the Deputy Governor, Agbola Ajayi. This was only yesterday. The Deputy Governor was on the program yesterday alongside the Commissioner of Information. Well, let's give you a premise before we get into the conversation. So this is coming when the Deputy Governor Governor Akeredolu resigned from the ruling APC in the state, and also the SSG also resigned from the cabinet, and the governor has since replaced him. Let's get talking, everyone, shall we? In our Abuja studio tonight is an ally of the governor, an APC chieftain in Ondo State, Mr. Benga Elegbeleye. He joins us in our Abuja studio. And a governorship aspirant, one of those who are seeking the ticket of the APC in Ondo State, is Mr. Akinola Awodei. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining us tonight on the program. Perhaps I should begin with Chief Elegbeleye. Chief Elegbeleye, if you may begin this conversation, what is happening in the rank and file of Mr. Akeredolu? The SSG resigned, the deputy governor left the party, there is an impeachment notice going on. There is also 2 major members of the party that have been suspended in the House. Are things falling apart, Mr. Elegbeleye?
No, certainly not, because it's a matter of those who have ambition. Yes, you have ambition. Some people, even when they know they're going to fail, whatever advice you get, they will never listen. The issue of deputy governor is just somebody who wants to contest election. All right? And there's nothing you say, whether the house is falling or not, whether the governor is doing the right thing or not, he will still go ahead to pursue his ambition. And that of the SSG, I was surprised. The guy came out saying that he was involved in the election rigging. That in 2016, that he, alongside others, rigged the election for Governor Akeredolu. That's a criminal offense. For him to come out to say that he rigged the election. Then secondly, they complained that the governor was not giving him enough money to take care of supporters. That means all about his grasp with the governor is that the governor was not giving money to take care of his supporters. Even in People's Bank of the Hold, you need collateral to collect money. Is government house or government service about sharing money? So if Governor Akeredolu is saying, I'm not going to share money, I want to serve the people, and the SSG and his deputy, the governor, decide otherwise, that is what they want, they can jolly well leave the government and go. That's not the thinking of the Ondo State people. Their resignation is not what any wrongdoing by Mr. Governor is by just personal ambition and personal interest.
So before I allow Mr. Awodei to coming into the conversation, so when you have close allies or people who have worked closely during the election and after the election with Governor Akeredolu, and the opposition raised objection on the election at the time, raising issues of irregularity, and such a person who worked closely with the governor is saying they rigged the election, does that in any way validate the words of those who had alleged that the elections were rigged at the time?
The guy came back again almost 1 hour after the interview that he didn't say that. That was misquoted. So you can read his latest post. He said he didn't say it was part of any election. But because he said Governor Akeredolu won the election. So
those are the words that you were using earlier on. So I just wanted to ask you what you think the implication of that statement is.
No, actually, that was his earlier interview. Since he denied it, there's no reason for me to start answering what he denied, because he said he did not participate in election rigging and that Governor Akeredolu won the election clean and clear, but that that the governor was not giving money to take care of his supporters. That means the idea or the assertion that the election was rigged in favor of Governor Akeredolu never existed, because he came out to deny it again. So I don't have any reason to start discussing what he denied. But initially, it was a foolish thing for somebody to come out and say rigged election. It's a criminal offense. You should be prosecuted. Maybe he was advised by people that such statement was not good enough. Then he came out to issue a rejoinder that he didn't say that. But having read his rejoinder, denying the fact that he didn't say that Governor Akeredolu indeed won the election, and that his grasp with Governor Akeredolu was not getting enough money from him to take care of his supporters. So the issue is
there's another quick one I want to ask you. So I would like Mr. Awodei to react to. Today, I'm going to play, perhaps we should listen, if my producer plays us the natural sound of the lawmakers after the sitting today and what they said. They're alleging that monies exchanged hands over the issue of impeachment. Maybe we can play that and listen to them.
People cannot be fellow Nigerians. Because of 10 million collected.
Look at governor representative here. They are the one that
they collected 10 million. That's why they are misleading.
10 million they have collected. of Assembly has been...
People cannot... You are misusing because of 10 million.
Fellow Nigerians...
Because of 10 million collected...
House of Assembly is being ruled...
Mr. Elegbeleye, does Governor Akeredolu want his deputy out of office?
Well, thank you very much. You know, it is not the issue of Governor Akeredolu. It is about the job of the State Assembly. There are parliamentary duties to the people of Ondo State. If you commit impeachable offense or offenses, they have the right to serve you impeachment notice and tell you these are your offenses. But the issue of members or assemblymen or the opposition people saying 10 million naira was shared is very just a matter of looking for something to say. It's same the Governor Akeredolu that was being accused by his erstwhile SSG that wasn't giving money to people. Would the same man now give 10 million naira to a certain individual or a group of people, or 10 million per assemblyman of 14 or more? Can you imagine? That's a huge sum of money. The man is not that kind of a character. And if they feel people collected money, they are their colleagues in the House of Assembly. In those days when parliamentarians I was in the House of Representatives, when some people collected money claiming that the president then gave them money for third time. They came to the open on the floor of the parliament and displayed those money. So they should find out from their colleagues. Those who collect money, they should look for... Chief
Elegbeleye, let us allow Mr. Awodeyi, because I was going to ask you a sequential question before you reacted. I wanted to get your reaction, but since you have reacted to it, let's begin with you today. You are one of those who are not in support, because one would think that what the president said, according to Chief Oyegun, that Governor Obaseki and Governor Akeredolu should be given a chance of first refusal in the race. You're one of those who think that that cannot happen. Why?
Thank you very much, my brother. Sheung. The constitution is very clear. I'm not interested in sentiment. APC, we have a robust constitution. And there's no option of a first refusal or whatever to anybody. The constitution says that every 4 years, you must contest for an election. So if somebody is now preaching that somebody should be given a first refusal or first option of refusal before, so that he can contest for the second term, it's not in the constitution. I tell people every time that the constitution is supreme. Unfortunately, a lot of us join political party or even investment businesses that we don't even look at the constitution very well. Whatever I want to do, if I want to do business with you, I'll go straight and look at what I can consider like a kind of agreement between us before I go into that business with you. If you are a political party member, what is more important to you, or you want to join a political party, the first thing is if you want to join the party, ask for the constitution of the party. Read the constitution from Article 1 to whatever article that is there. If there's any lacuna or what you think that is okay for you, you can go ahead and join, or you reject. But I sympathize with Governor Obaseki, because when he got to PDP, he said he had just studied the constitution now, that the constitution is now the leader of the party at PDP. But unfortunately, probably didn't know that the constitution of APC don't give that. Article 1 to 31 of APC constitution, very clear. The governors were not the leaders of the party in the state. So if anybody is talking about you want to be this, you want to be that, have you taken your time to study the constitution?
All right, Mr.
Chairman, I'm the former national chairman.
So I was going to ask you, because that would have given us a premise, because you are not one of those who are supporting Governor Akeredolu. You, in fact, are from the same hometown, isn't it? And so the question is, why is a lot of crisis happening in your party?
Thank you, Sheung, once again. You see, the issue is that, one thing is that for you, I tell people that managing crisis is very cheap than to manage success. No matter either you come in through the back door, straight door, or whatever doors. Success needed to be managed. Governor Akeredolu got the opportunity of being the governor of the state, but unfortunately, he was unable to manage the success. That led to the crisis that we are having. Once you win an election, you just call everybody together. My brothers, most especially the people that contested with you, let's sit down, Let us look at Ondo State. You have an idea before you say you want to contest for the governorship. Bring your idea to the table. We look at the ideas. If it's okay, you discuss. And after your discussion, say, okay, this thing cannot fly at this time, and this is what I can fly. Give them sense of belonging. Give them sense that they are part and parcel of the system. Give them the point that, okay, you are part and parcel of the party. For example, people like us. I'm one of the founding fathers of the party. And today, I cannot even say anything about the party. I just wake up one day, whatever they say about the party, I just say, unless if I read through the social media. That is not the same
All
party.
right. So let's apologies to Botin, Mr. Awode. Let hold the thought, please, because I will allow you to land. We'll go on a break, and when we come back, we dissect more into the real problems of Ondo APC. There are a few days or weeks to the governorship primary, and all of this is happening. People are leaving the party, and the house is caving in. We'll talk more when we return from this break, everyone. Join us again. Thank you so much, everyone. Keep your seatbelt on. It might be, at some point, a jerky one in this 1 hour ride. But let's get back to the conversation with my guest tonight, Chief Benga Elegbelaye, a member and the chieftain of the APC in Ondo State, and Honorable Awode Akinshayiwa is a governorship aspirant in Ondo State. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for coming in. I wanted to land on the thought that you were before I push in the other question. You can go ahead, please.
Yes, like I was saying, the governor, he has every opportunity for almost about 3 years to bring the party together, to bring people together, to make sure that we don't continue to have problem with the party. I'm a party man. When others are decamping, when they are working against the party, I refuse. I said, this is my party. I've labored for this party. It will be very suicidal for me to work against the party. Even at the last primary, 2016, fortunately, the 35 buses that were used to conduct that primary, I gave it to the party. Governor Rotimi Akeredolu might. I went to him. I congratulated him. I told him, come, my brother, this is an opportunity for everybody because we are from the same local government. We are from the same town. In fact, it's just about maybe about 3 streets away, my street away from his street in our local government. And I told him, this is an opportunity for all of us, especially Owo, to become the governor of the state. We were happy. And after that, every effort to reach out to him to see how we can continue to discuss about how to make the party first, because the party is the first thing that we have to look into and see how we can manage the party so that all the people that came, unfortunately, the issue of a waiver that was introduced to the party, some people came to contest, and some of them, immediately they lose, they jump out of the party. But for those of us who are foundation members, we refuse to leave because we know that this is our baby. So if we leave the party,
Mr. Awode, apologies to Botin again. So for you, your grievance with Governor Akeredolu is the fact that he did not carry you along. That's your grievance.
No, I'm not me as a person. The party. I don't want a party that's going to die. We work for this party. I don't want a party that's going to die. I want a party that everybody, every member of the party, we have a voice in that party. And secondly, in terms of performance, if to say that all of us are working together, definitely, all these issues of infighting by party members and even the officials in the government, is anything we can sit down and resolve with them without going to battles every day. Look at it now. It's even an insult for you to be a governor and in your local government alone, we have about 5 aspirants. It has never happened in the history of Ondo State before. So if this one is coming up, people came out to give him what I can call checks and balances. Not because people are desperate that he has to be governor by fire, by force. But the thing is that let us have a good party and a good government in the state. A lot of things are wrong with the system that's being run presently. I'm talking of governance. Okay, so sit down, look at it, see how we can put things right.
Mr. Awode, so clarify for us. Yes, so yesterday, there's an allegation that he has not performed. That's from the deputy governor, and that's his own reason. Yeah. Some other people are also saying that he may not be a party man, but he has performed. So from your own standpoint, what is your assessment?
Number one, the deputy governor is his deputy governor. they are the one that are together. If he's being able to assess his boss, that his boss is a failure, definitely, both of them, they are both failures. I'm not part of the administration. I cannot say that this is the way they are doing, this is what they've done. But what I've seen, in which I'm not going to take away from him, is infrastructure development that I expect him to perform better. All what I see, they said he's constructing road, he's doing this, he's doing that. These are statutory things that has to be done. Because if you are a governor, I expect you to say, okay, these are investment or investors that can, because today, nobody can continue to rely on, say, everybody want to rely on a civil service job. Encourage investors to come into the state, give them the opportunity to come, let them bring jobs, because some of these Ondo State youths now today, you see them at using their telephones.
So, Mr. Awode, I would like to butt in again, but a quick one, and I need a very quick response, and I would like Honorable Elegbeleye to respond to it. In a statement, Mr. Awode, can you tell us who is behind the impeachment of the deputy governor? Who do you think, you're a member of the party, who do you think is behind the impeachment?
Definitely. Even if I'm the governor of the state, I will not allow a situation whereby my deputy governor will leave the party, and at the end of the day, he will still be controlling the party indirectly, or even my administration indirectly. Definitely, as a governor, I won't be sleeping. At every given time, I should be allowed to see how we demand out of the party and its court. So, directly or indirectly, I can tell you categorically that the governor is behind the impeachment, so directly or indirectly.
Let's allow Mr. Elegbeleye to react to that, because there's been back and forth. The governor said he's not the one behind it. The deputy governor said he's the one behind the impeachment. And now the crisis in the House of Assembly is on a large scale now. Major members of the House are being suspended. Your reaction, please.
The House of Assembly is behind the impeachment. And they are the one, it was the House that served Agbola Ajayi impeachment notice, stating all his impeachable offenses. So the fact that a governor and his deputy, they are at loggerheads, doesn't mean that the House should shy away from their parliamentary responsibilities. The House of Assembly are populated by members of the APC and other parties, and they have representatives of their various constituencies, and they certainly have responsibility to the people of Ondo State. If they believe the governor himself has committed offenses that they believe is impeachable, they will do that, they will do the same to him. So if you ask me the question who is behind the impeachment notice or the impeachment moves against Agbola Ajayi, certainly it is Ondo State House of Assembly. They are the one, it is their job, and they have done their job, and they are doing the job. They are the one that serve him impeachment notice. So what has that got to do with Governor Akeredolu? So his signature was not there. He has no capacity to sign impeachment notice. He's not involved in parliamentary job. So those who are elected to do the job are the ones doing it. So that's very simple. Ondo State House of Assembly.
Mr. Awode, what can you say to that?
Well, definitely my friend, my brother is one of the henchmen of the governor. I don't expect him to say anything less than that. But one thing is very important to me that I know, like I've continued to say it, if you watch the scenario that took place today and up some few days till date, all of them, they are saying the governor. I am not part of them. I'm not a member of the House of Assembly. But what we read and what they said, what they said was that the governor, even look at the leader of the House, who just spoke about a few minutes ago, he said the governor was the governor. I mean the Iroju and co called that the governor. The speaker said the governor called them. I am not there, so I believe that it is what they say that I'm going to leverage on, and I will continue to say it. Either my friend want to agree with me or not. He has contested before. He has to become the governor of the state, and I'm sure if he's the governor today, either is before, like our president today, they said my president does not talk. He uses body language. Everybody knows that Can you be a governor, well, allow your deputy to be in another party and start causing trouble in your party, or as alleged by some of your supporters, and you now expect that governor to be sleeping? Nobody will do that.
All right.
But
So let's close the conversation on the crisis in your party in Ondo State. Let me go to Mr. Elegbeleye. Mr. Elegbeleye, as it stands right now, the crisis in the APC, the primaries are ahead. About 4 or 5 people running for the ticket for the party are from Owo. What does this say? And do you think the crisis is going to hurt the chances of Governor Akeredolu taking re-election?
Well, thank you very much. In 2016, several people contested the election with Governor Akeredolu. Some scored 1 vote, some 0 votes. So it is, sometimes I keep wondering why people should go and pay 22.5 million naira to contest an election that you know you don't have a chance of winning it. That 5 people are from in the same family. I'm from a polygamous family. All family members don't have to agree together, so we don't have to think alike. And the issue is this: those who gather together to say who want to contest against Governor Akeredolu, about 10 aspirants came together under one umbrella of a unity forum. And when those of them, again, one of them was anointed to be the candidate of the same forum, they all disagreed. It shows there's no unity in them. So everybody has personal ambition. Governor Akeredolu, of course, nobody is perfect. If you say, for instance, that it didn't carry you along, you contested against him in the last election. I remember Dr. Tuji Abayomi was one of the aspirants. Himself and the governor, they came together. They worked together. I remember Victor Olabinton.
So, Mr. Egbeleye, because our time for this conversation is over, let's allow Mr. Awodeyi to react to what he said. What is happening in the APC today? Same question, Mr. Awodeyi. What do you think it is for your party?
What I see that's happening, yes, what I see is that a governor who is not ready to accommodate others, a governor who believes that he has a monopoly of wisdom. All what we are asking for is that we need a governor who will be ready to carry everybody along, who will now move on to say better than what we have presently. People say that we have 5 people, 10 people, some people score this, some people score that. We learn every day. Even if you remember, Bill Clinton, he contested how many years in the U.S. as a governor, and at the end of the day, he came out to say, I've learned my lesson. And the wife told him, Mr. Man, don't campaign anymore. Just tell them that I've learned my lesson. And before you know it, he won that election. For Mr. President today, he contested 3 times. At the end of the day, he won. Today is not the president and commander-in-chief of the armed forces in Nigeria. So, for you to say somebody contested and scored 0, scored that, that's not out of it. What we are asking for, we want a governor of Ondo State. A governor who is ready to accommodate everybody. A governor who will understand the politics and the
Mr. Awodeyi, we have to leave it at that.
Because if you understand Ondo State,
yeah, because we're out of time, Mr. Akinola Awodeyi Akinshayiwa, governorship aspirant in Ondo State ahead of the governorship primaries of the APC, and Chief Gbenga Elegbeleye, APC chieftain in Ondo State. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for coming on tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, now we switch gears now and go into the National Assembly and what is happening between Mr. Festus Keyamo, the Minister of State for Labor, over the Special Works Program. So Senate President Ahmed Lawan declared that all previous actions taken by the Minister of Labor regarding the Special Public Works Program is null and void. This includes the setting up of selection committees in the state to pick the 774,000 low-skilled workers for the Public Works Program. Well, the minister has insisted that he is going to stick to his guns and act according to law. Take a listen to some of the sound bites after that meeting yesterday. Of course, the Minister of Labor, Chris Ngige, apologized.
I just pray that we continue to be on the same page, because on this, we are not going to allow the ministry headquarters to implement this program at all. All previous actions are null and void. We don't recognize them. From today, when you go to the committee room, please, you and your committee engage and start afresh, and we support you all the way.
We shall still go into the business of
discussing the program. My Minister of State have put out a position or paper. That position paper is nothing sacrosanct there.
He is my supervising minister. His role is to supervise, not to implement and execute. I'm telling you in confidence, I said it before and I'm now saying it. The 20-man state selection committee, I saw it in social media like some of you saw it, and as the chief executive of that agency. Is there justice in this?
Thank you so much, everyone. You heard it, and you heard the part. The minister at that says, at whatever say at that the conversation after the conversation said is going to act based on law. So tonight, let's get the benefit of the experience of law and the benefit of the experience of National Assembly. So we have Senator Ayo Arishe, a former member of the Senate. He joins us from our Abuja studio, and we're going to be seeking some legal opinions also from a very senior member of the bar, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Chief Robert Clark, who joins us via telephone. Thank you so much, Chief Clark, for joining us tonight. If you look at the stand, it does look like the dichotomy between the National Assembly and their oversight function and the role of the executive and its powers is being challenged and is being debated right now. From what we see right now, considering the position of the National Assembly and the position of Mr. Festus Keyamo, what is your assessment of the situation, Chief Clark? Chief Clark, what is your assessment of the position and the oversight role of the National Assembly in this Special Works Program and the stance of the Minister of State for Labor, Mr. Festus Keyamo? Okay, we will reconnect with Chief Robert Clark shortly. But let's go to Abuja with Senator Ayo Arishe. Senator, it's good to see you again, and thank you so much for coming. We contacted you and we wanted to get your view on what is happening. When the National Assembly said they are oversighting the executive on this particular project, and the minister said he has been given power as the president has ordered him to work on that project. There seems to be some disagreement over that. Give us what you think is happening. Is it oversight or overstep?
Well, thank you very much, Sheol. I think when you look at the two positions, if you're looking at the legal side of it, obviously it appears that Keyamo is following the legal side. But when you look at the National Assembly, they are there as politicians and they have a purpose. And of course, there is no way, this is a huge project. If we were speaking of just a few jobs, there are ways this could have been managed. But this is a huge thing. I don't think this has ever happened. Any employment of this magnitude has never happened in this country. And on the basis of that, I know the National Assembly members will not allow this type of employment to pass them because they have a responsibility to their communities. And of course, in times past, when you look at it, if we had been following things correctly, the way they should be done. Ordinarily, if the minister had gone ahead to say, I'm advertising this to give everybody a fair and equal chance of being employed, but I read some of his position. This has been given to, different sectors of the government to manage and have an input. And of course, because of the population and the fact that the grassroots, people continue to ask questions from the National Assembly. they would want to play a very significant role in determining who and who gets employed and looking at the spread. But I would imagine that there are ways things are done between the executive and the legislature.
Senator, please, apologies to Botin. We need to take we need to take another break. But when we come back, we dissect further. Senator Ayuarishe, please stay with us. And also we'll get Chief Robert Clark, hopefully back on the line to give us his legal views on this matter. We'll be right back, everyone. Thank you so much, everyone. So the row between the Minister of State for Labor, Mr. Festus Keyamo, and some members of the National Assembly gets us talking. Senator Ayuarishe has been in our Abuja studio. I understand now that we have Chief Robert Clark on the telephone for us. Chief Clark, thank you so much. If you can hear me now, what is your assessment over the issue? All right, we'll try again. Let's continue. Let's get back to Senator Ayuarishe. Senator, so in essence, if Nigerians can get a sense, because some of the things that we heard Mr. Festus Keyamo say is that there seems to be an allegation of possible hijack. And he said on the grounds of the law and the NBE Act over this job issue, that the law permits him to handle it and gives him the prerogative to oversee the project, not the way the National Assembly wants him to handle it. From your point of view, is it still within oversight or overstep?
That's a difficult question to give a yes or no answer to. Like I've explained to you, the National Assembly, in this type of scenario, once the budget is approved for this project, and there is an existing act of the National Assembly, every other thing beyond that would have to be a question of negotiation. Ordinarily, because the two sides belong to the same party, this should not have been a big issue. And it should be something it could have easily resolved. But because tempers are flaring up, Festus is an SAN, he's looking at the legal side and he's quoting the legal side, which obviously the executive arm of the government is everywhere in the world is charged with the execution of executive programs. And but as it is, the National Assembly members would also have a say, because there is always a relationship between the members of the executive, and as such, it's not an outright misstep to say, look, we want to know how this thing will be distributed. We need to be able to tell our people that they have distributed 770-something thousand jobs.
Okay, so Senator, and, apologies to Botti. For the sake of Nigerians who are watching and wondering, where does this power lies? Of course, you know, within the arms of government, there is a line that guides their roles. First and foremost, a quick answer from you on this one. Does the National Assembly have the power to stop a project such as the Special Works Program? Because at first they said that they have stopped it. Do they have that power?
If that project has been, if the budget has been approved for it, and there is nothing that looks like a violation of the Appropriation Act, to my mind, with my little experience, I think stopping it is, it cannot even be in their interest. So, because how would you explain that you don't want 700 something people to be employed? It's difficult. It's not something for television drama, arguments in the newspapers. It's something you need to sit down and look at it. If we are going by legality, everybody is suspicious of the other between the executive and the legislature. One wants to hijack more power. The other one is trying to protect the power granted under the Constitution. So we will not, I'm not going to be interpreting the Constitution, but my own contribution will be that the minister and the National Assembly should just go ahead and settle this matter. If we continue to look at the legality, if not that it's the same party, then at the end of the day, you ask the court for interpretation of who has the powers. And I think it's very clear in the Constitution. The legislative powers are completely different from that of the executive power. So that's the way I want to respond to that, because always forget, don't forget that it's the same party, and I'm a member of the party. So I can only look for a solution that is going to at least be best for Nigerians, for the youth.
Just a moment, Senator Ayarishe. Let's try and see if we can get the Senior Advocate Chief Clark back, if he can hear me now. Chief Clark, if you can hear me, good evening, sir.
Good evening, how are you, Sean?
Oh, it's good to hear your voice, Chief Clark, again. And so we wanted to get your legal point of view vis-a-vis what Senior Advocate Festus Keyamo, the Minister of State for Labour, was saying, and what the National Assembly's position on this matter. Legally speaking, who is in the wrong here? The Minister, the National Assembly?
This is on the Keyamo's matter, not so. The process of making contracts or execution of contracts is given to the National Assembly as an oversight council. Idea is to be exercised by the executive, Mr. President. Therefore, in the case in fact, it should not be fair for the National Assembly to be directing the executive, as it were, that they want to be part of this exercise, or that they are near their constituencies that they really can't serve. I think it is not fair on their part. They have done a bit above their rights under the Constitution.
Chief Clark, in a case where we heard the DG of the NDE say he was not aware, but the minister's defense to that is that the law and the NDE Act permits him to oversee the affairs of the NDE or under him as he suits. Is that right?
Can you repeat that question again?
So we heard the DG of the NDE. He said that after that sitting, he said that he was not aware, the Director General of the National Directorate of Employment, after the sitting with the National Assembly, he said he was not aware of the committees set up by the Minister of State for Labour. But the defense of the Minister of State for Labour, Mr. Keyamo, is that the NDE Act permits him, as his minister supervising that agency, to act as it suits. What's your opinion on that, legally speaking?
And I don't want to give an opinion as regards the internal working of the ministry. If the pastor says that he never heard about it, that would be unusual. But it is neither here or there. It is another between the minister and the Home Secretary. But I don't want to go into who is right or who is right and wrong.
Thank you so much, Chief Robert Clark. Always a pleasure hearing your views on some of these legal logjams. Thank you so much. Let's get our the final thoughts from Senator Ayo Arishe. Since you're a member of the party and we see these kind of things happening, the senior advocate has said, look, will we eventually go to the Attorney General to get a legal solution to this problem? For you, a political solution or a legal solution will solve this issue? Which one?
It has to be political. It's a political solution. There is no way, I mean, with the quantum of, with what is at stake, 774,000 jobs or 774,000 jobs. Believe me, there is no way one person can make that decision. It's even though it's the prerogative of the executive, but usually there is a way you work together, because when you bring your bills and you had loggerheads with the National Assembly, there will be delays and all that. So usually when it comes to matters of job, and we're not talking about money sharing issue, these are things very sensitive. You want to be responsible in your constituencies, and you want to show that you have done something for them. So if you are not a part of distributing 774,000 jobs, and you are sitting in the National Assembly, people will ask you questions.
All right,
and of
Senator,
course, they don't even know all these technicalities that is involved. So I would say a political solution will be the best out of this logjam.
Senator, thank you so much for allowing us to share in your wealth of experience as a former member of the National Assembly. Senator Ayo Arishe there, a former member of the Senate. Thank you indeed for your time tonight.
Thank you for having me, Shil.
And of course, we heard earlier from Chief Robert Clark, Senior Advocate of Nigeria. But that's how we draw the curtains of the program tonight. Thank you indeed, everyone, for staying with me through this ride. It's bye-bye.